Welcome to Cold Topics. You dumb. God, Peter.
It's working. It was recording.
Welcome to Cold Topics. I'm Deborah.
And I'm Dolores. Today's date is September 30th, 1952.
And it's the anniversary of the end.
The end of the world.
Okay, restart that. Cut it out. Welcome to Cold Topics. I'm Deborah.
And I'm Dolores. And today's date is September 30th, 1952.
And it's the anniversary of the end of the Berlin airlift. Today we have Harry Truman and Joseph Stalin in the studio.
We are going to discuss the Berlin airlift and other political issues in the world. For those of you rock and rollers who don't know anything about the Berlin airlift, after World War II, Germany was split into 4 sections, and it was split between France, Britain, America, and the Soviets. The Soviets controlled the east side, which is where Berlin is, and Berlin believes in democracy values.
I believe in go in their babies and buttholes. Now that you know some background information on the Berlin airlift, after the break, we're going to have an interview with the one and only Mr. Harry Truman. So, Mr. Truman, how are you today?
You know, I'm great, Deborah. How about
Wait.
yourself?
Welcome back to Cold Topics. Today, we are here with the one and only Mr. Harry Truman. Hi. How are you today, Mr. Harry Truman?
Well, I'm great, Deborah. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. Fabulous.
That's good. That's fine. We'll keep that. Alright.
Okay. Mr. Truman, are you ready? Mr. Truman, did you know today was the anniversary of the end of the one and only Berlin airlift?
You know, Deborah, I actually did know that, and it's very smooth shaking in my mouth.
How are you, Mr. Truman? Welcome back to Cold Topics. I'm here with the one and only Mr. Harry Truman. How are you today?
You know, I'm great, Deborah. How about yourself?
I'm pretty awesome. Welcome back to Cold Topics. I'm here with the one and only Mr. Harry Truman. How are you today?
I'm swell, Deborah. How about yourself?
I'm pretty dandy. Did you know today was the anniversary of the end of the Berlin airlift?
Well, Deborah, I did know that because it's a very important part of a lifetime in history.
Why do you think the Soviets blocked all traffic into West Berlin?
Well, to me, it was an obvious effort.
Stop. Is it West Berlin or... Yeah, West Berlin, right?
I don't know. East. It's east, and that's the
Okay. How much more of this do we have? A lot. Why do you think the Soviets blocked all air traffic into East Berlin?
Well, to me, it was an obvious effort by the communists.
Well, to me, it was an obvious effort to force.
Well, to me, it was an obvious effort to force the Allies into concerning.
Just read off of it, Ashley.
Okay.
Why do you think the Soviets blocked all traffic into East Berlin?
Well, to me, it was an obvious effort to force the Allies to accept.
Reading. Why do you think the Soviets blocked all traffic into East Berlin?
Well, to me, it was an obvious effort to force the Allies to accept the Soviet Union's demands concerning the post-war fate of Germany.
Why did you decide to help the East Berliners?
Well, Deborah, since the Soviets cut off traffic into East Berlin, many people were left without food, supplies, clothing, or medical supplies.
I said supplies. Why did you decide to help the East Berliners?
Well, Deborah, since the Soviets cut off traffic into East Berlin, many people were left without food, clothing,
for medical supplies. Being Americans, we push for aggressive response to the Soviet incentive to help them. We decided to take a different approach to the incentive of Soviets airlift. We, as Americans, have an obligation to help any other nation who would like democracy. It is our obligation as Americans.
That was very smart to airlift the supplies to East Berlin, don't you agree?
Say dumb, Deborah, of course I do. Us Americans didn't fire a shot, and we helped provide supplies to all the stricken East Berliners. It was a tremendous Cold War victory for U.S. We spoiled the Soviets' plan to hold East Berlin hostage, while demonstrating to the world Yankee ingenuity.
Now that your term is coming to an end, what do you think about the... Now, Truman.
Yes, ma'am.
Now that your second term is coming to an end, what do you think about the upcoming election?
Well, you know, Deborah, it's up in the air for me, but I am a fan of war heroes, so I am leaning towards Eisenhower.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you, Mr. Truman.
Thank you, Deborah. It was a pleasure being here.
After break, we're going to have Mr. Joseph Stalin.
Hi, we're back with Cold Topics, and I'm here with the one, the only, Joseph Stalin! Hi, Joseph. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine, Dolores. Thanks.
Now, Stalin, I really want to start at the show by commending you on your accomplishments in the Soviet Union. For those of you who don't know, Stalin has improved science and education across the area and has made diseases like malaria at an all-time low in the Soviet Union. I also want to commend you on how women in your territory have equal rights and have an equal chance of getting an education.
Thank you. I've really tried hard to make the Soviet Union and communism as great as it can be.
Wow. Gee willikers, you're really passionate about communism, aren't you?
Duh.
Is it true that at the Yalta Conference with Roosevelt and Churchill, when you guys were supposed to be discussing the aftermath of World War II and discussing Germany so that Germany would not rise up again like they did after World War I and become a world dominant power in Europe, is it true that you demanded to have a Soviet sphere of influence in Europe?
Yes, I did. We will spread our ideals throughout the world. Democracy does not work. People are happier living in a world of communism.
Well, my good friend Deborah just talked to President Truman, and he strongly disagrees with your ideas.
Well, that's his problem, and he has nothing to do with the East.
Well, Mr. Stalin, I think it is his problem. When you were blockading innocent citizens of Eastern Berlin, and you were... Well, Mr. Stalin, I think it is his problem when you were blockading people in Berlin and killing them. Can you explain your motives behind your blockade with Berlin?
Yes, they were on my territory, and people on my territory will be communists, and if not, they shouldn't be treated with respect or sympathy in my eyes. Propaganda really helped me to be dealing with Berlin, because it helps people rally up troops and that sort.
Well, I bet you didn't see Truman flying over goods getting past your blockade, Mr. Stalin.
I am Soviet! We prepare for everything! I didn't believe him to be as good as a man of wits as a meme. The funny thing is that the same aircraft flying over getting supplies to Berlin were the same aircraft flying over Germany. Not so long ago.
Oh, I guess that is
Ricardo!
Well, I bet you didn't see Truman finding a way past your blockade and providing goods to the Berlin people, huh, Mr. Stalin?
I am Soviet! We
I suppose. But it shows how strongly Americans feel about democracy. Well, that's all the time we have for our interview. It was really a pleasure. But after the break, we will have your viewer questions.
Welcome back to Cold Topics. It's now time to take the viewer questions. First question.
Hi. Why didn't we join the United Nations after World War I, and why did we join the United Nations after World War I?
Why didn't we join the League of Nations? Did he say League?
We did not join the League of Nations.
Yeah,
Why didn't we?
Why didn't we